Hello everyone, it's Kari and I have another fun project to share. If you're watching this today on the day that this video goes live, September 24th, it's the brand new release day for Miss Ink stamps. And this is the new Ups and Downs stamp set, which is a beautiful background stamp set. And then this is called So Charming, and it's full of magical things and creatures and lots that you can use of images in here. This made me smile, and today we're going to make a really fun card. I'm going to start out using these mica sprays on the background. I did this earlier so this background could dry, but I just sprayed a little bit of the mica spray that's the purple color and a little bit that's the gray color. And now we're going to stamp this right over the top and get a really interesting look. So let's go ahead and do that. I have my sticky mat here in my MISTI. And now I'm going to use some archival ink to stamp this down. I'm using the archival ink because I thought it would show up better on that mica spray. It is a little bit shiny in the background with that spray, and so this is the ink that I chose for that. I stamped it quite a few times to get a really nice dark impression, and my mat did move on me just a little bit, so I have a little shadowed impression, but that's okay because by the time we're finished with this background, you won't even be able to tell. So I'm going to take some cool gray markers now and just highlight some of the aspects of this background. I just love how detailed it is with the stairs, with the columns, and these archways especially. And so I'm using these cool gray markers to just highlight some of those interesting points. I have here C7, C5, C3, and C1, and I'm just kind of giving it some shadows and some depth. And I'm not really spending a lot of time. You can see, now I have sped this up, but you can see that I basically just add a little bit here and there, and I'm not really spending too much time like I would if I was coloring the entire background. The mica spray gives it some detail and some interest, so it almost looks like stone. I wanted to throw that purple in there so we didn't have just an all gray background, and I thought that it really added some interesting color and texture. I'm just about finishing up here. I've got a few more pieces that I want to highlight, so I'm working on these columns right now, going in with dark, then just blending that out with the other colors. And I just go throughout different parts of this haul and watch as it comes to life here. It's really easy to do. You really can do as much or as little as you want. In fact, I really didn't need to do this much work because that sprayed background colors it in for me. So it's up to you on how much you want to focus on this background. I really love these stairs though. So I'm going to work on the last portion here, highlighting those bricks in the background and also the stairs and the floor. So there are a few bricks and I just wanted to make them a little bit darker. I'm using a couple of the darker markers to do so. And now I'm going to highlight those stairs just a touch, just by adding the same cool gray markers and blending those through. So like I say, you don't really need too much for this. That background is so beautifully detailed. I think it would look beautiful also stamped out in different colors. This can just really come alive. I'm also imagining different flags hanging in this hallway or the stairway. Lots of different things you can do. Today we're going to build a really fun scene using some of those characters from the stamp set and also some of those items that are in the stamp set. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and stamp those out right now. And you can see that I've stamped out this magical girl and this magical boy, some books, a cupcake, and the cat. And now I'm just going to color them in. I'm going in with my favorite skin tones that I like to use quite often, which is the E50s. I start off with the E55, blend that through with an E53, E51, and E50. And I'm going to use the same skin tone on both of those characters. I'm not going to leave in all of the coloring, but I thought it would be interesting to see the skin tones and some of their clothing colored up. I get a lot of requests for coloring. So there's the skin tone. I'm going to finish up his face now and hands. I'm using the same colors on him, but making his skin tone just a little bit deeper around the edges. So you'll see that in the finished product. I also add a little bit of R81 for blush on both of them, just the smallest amount so that you can see that just barely, but it doesn't look too crazy. So there we are, finishing up with the skin tones. I've pulled out quite a few colors now for the clothing, and I thought I would like to color his pants up to look like jeans. So I've pulled out my favorite jean colors. I'm using a very dark color to start. This is the B99, and then I go in with the B97, 95, and 93 and blend those through. So I'm using 4 different colors, shades, and that's what gives it quite a dramatic tone. You definitely don't need to use this many if you don't want to. I really like it for these characters though. It really adds some drama. So there we go with his jeans. That looks really good. And now I'm going to color her skirt with the same blue tones to make it look a little like a denim skirt. And I was kind of thinking that maybe this is like their school colors or outfits. My kids used to go to a school where they had to wear uniforms, and so everyone looked alike. So that was my thinking on coloring her skirt in the same colors. And you can just see how I blend those through. For the sweaters, I brought in some green tones, and I'm also going to color up her shoes blue as well. I went ahead and colored his shoes with browns, the same browns as their hair, and it's just the E50s, just a little bit darker. And now I'm going in with some greens with the G17, G14, and YG21. And I colored hers already, but I thought it was a little bit light, so I'm going in with darker shading on his sweater. And then when I go in with the lightest YG21, I use the tip to tip coloring method. So you can see that there's quite a bit of difference there. So I'm going in, taking the YG21 marker and brushing it up against the nib of the G14. And that helps those colors to blend together a little bit better. And I liked the color of his sweater better. So I'm going in with some darker shades on hers as well. Just doing the same exact thing that I did before, using that tip to tip shading method. For their ties, I used the same color of blues, and I added some gray colors for their shirts and for her socks. The books I colored off screen, but I used some shades of neutral grays and blues. I didn't want to bring in too many different colors into this already variety of color schemes. So here's how we turned out with the girl, and here's the boy. He doesn't look very happy. I'm going to tell you why he's not happy in just a minute. And there's the cat. These actually have coordinating dies, which is really exciting because this is the first time that I know of that Missing Stamp has offered coordinating dies, and it's so awesome and so much easier to cut out these images when you have those dies. So I've cut them all out and I've just placed them up on our background. I'll show you that in just a minute. But first I'm going to stamp out this sentiment that says, "It's happy birthday, not happy birthday." I just laughed at that. I thought it was so funny. So I stamped that in black ink, and now I'm heat embossing clear embossing powder over the top, just giving it a minute to cool down so I can add some of the lightest blue color that we used on their jeans and on the books. And I'm using that blue color to color this background for my sentiment strip. And I'm going to cut that out so that we can add it to the background and to the card. And that's a really beautiful shade of blue. You can see I tried purple up there in the upper right corner. I didn't love the purple, and so I redid it with blue, and I liked that so much better. So I decided to place it right here, and you can see I've got books flying all around, and there's a cupcake right there in between the two of them. So it looks like the magical boy tried to do a spell. He didn't quite get it right. He said it just a little bit wrong, and so he got those books instead of all the cupcakes there should be for a birthday. And she's showing him how it's done, creating that cupcake. It's happy birthday, not happy birthday. There you go. That's how it is. So I'm using some foam tape to adhere our characters and that little cat. And I'll also use some foam tape to attach those books flying around and the cupcake. I'm just using my tweezers here to place those so I don't get my fingers in the way. And I trimmed off the excess sentiment strip. And so now we have this ready to go, and I'm just going to glue it to our top folding card base, which is 110 pounds. So it's a nice heavyweight card base. And there is our card. So I'm going to show you this a little bit closer up. You can see that beautiful mica in the background. It offers a little bit of magical sparkly color. And I remembered I forgot to color their eyes in, so I'm giving her some blue eyes and him some green eyes to match our color schemes. And there's our card for today. I hope you enjoyed this look at the brand new stamps just coming out from Missing Stamps. I also thought this new stencil would look cool in the background. A little bit of sparkly stars would be pretty. So I wanted to show you that stencil as well. I hope you'll stop by and take a look at the whole entire release. I will link those products in the description below, so you can just jump on over and take a look. There's some really fun release products today. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up. It really does help out with YouTube. And don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you real soon with more card making inspiration. Bye-bye.